Everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. It was a term when I was playing baseball. If it's free, it's me. Yeah, I'll take it if it's free. And right now, that term applies to adoptions at the Terrebonne Parish Animal Shelter. Valerie Robinson is here to talk a little bit more about that. If it's free, it's me. It's good. Free adoptions is also good. First of all, let's talk about our other little partner here. Huh?
So my partner in crime for today is Miss Peach Cobbler. And Miss Peach Cobbler is about a 3-month-old little, kind of like a Maine Coon mix, but black brown tiger with medium hair. So she would be considered like a domestic medium hair. She's fun today. She came to us with a broken pelvis. So she is under vet care right now, and actually one of our wonderful veterinarians is fostering her while she's under treatment. So she basically is on cage rest, and until that little bone heals, then she'll be good to go for adoption.
Yeah.
So right now
she better be in a cage because she's active. Right?
She is.
She wants to play.
Yeah, she wants to play. She wants my hair. She wants to bite. But she's a good girl otherwise. Like I said, one of the vets that we have at the shelter is fostering her. So she'll be available as soon as she's all healed and ready to go. And, you know, foster is something that we'll talk about too, but you can kind of see the proof in the pudding of what we talk about when we say temporary foster, because Miss Peach Cobbler is being fostered temporarily.
So, and you talk about adoptions and fostering, two different things, but both ways people can help out. So
the December adoptions, when you said free, essentially what we normally do is have kind of a promotion during the holidays called Home for the Holidays. So we normally do that for the whole month of December. And that usually brings the attention to animals who are waiting for adoption. So this year and a few years in the past, Mr. Gary Blanchard, his wife, and his 5 rescue dogs have sponsored all of the adoption fees for every animal that gets adopted in the month of December. So that's how we get no fees because they've already been paid for by somebody else.
They're fees.
So they're fees, but they've already been paid for by somebody else. And so we appreciate Mr. Blanchard and his wife as well as his 5 rescue dogs. So basically what that does is that also helps people because we know that we overspend way too much in the month of December on Christmas and other things. So November, December are high, dollar months for most households. So having a no adoption fee does help people to say, you know what, like right now, let's put some of that money instead of paying an adoption fee. Let's maybe buy a dog bed or a cat bed or, a litter box or whatever that might be instead of, paying those dollars. It kind of just shifts over. And what we find is most people will go out and spend the money on the items that the kitten or animal, need. So it's a win-win with the no fees. We have tons of animals available for adoption. I think I brought some pictures today of a lot of the dogs. Santa Claus visited. He did.
This is one of the things y'all do too, right? He came and did some glamour shots.
He did.
Right?
We appreciate our volunteers so much. This gentleman offered his Sunday to us, and so did a few other volunteers who regularly come and take pictures. Layla with the Friends group that was here last time, she comes usually every Sunday and takes pictures. That's part of how we get these animals adopted. And so all of these dogs that are flashing on your screen are available for adoption. Santa, like I said, was super great to us, and so were the helpers. They came yesterday and did a fantastic job, or Sunday, and did a fantastic job. So we've got some cute pictures, and we're putting it out there on social media. Please go to our Facebook page and share away. Because that does help us to get the word out. So if you can't adopt, someone else on your feed probably can, and then fostering as well. If you can foster, and I think we'll talk a little bit more about fostering, but the adoption piece is, super important for, where you going, ma'am? So it's super important for us to put the word out because we do need homes for these animals. We are adopting animals. We are doing very, very well. But we still have animals in the shelter that need a home.
Right. And you were saying the cat program has been doing real well, right?
Very well. We just adopted, I'm sure we'll get more in, but we just, on our adoption floor, you want to talk? On our adoption floor this morning, we were able to adopt the last kitten on our adoption floor. We do have others available for adoption. Like I was telling you, we have multiple rooms in our shelter. Some of them are under treatment, minor treatment, like this little gal, and some of them are ready to go for adoption. So we still do have cats available for adoption at the shelter, and we also have cats in foster that will be available for adoption as well. So the way to find that out would be to watch our Facebook page, or you can go to our website, tpcg.org/animal shelter. That, or just Google us, Terrebonne Parish Animal Shelter. Right. It comes up, and that's a way to see what animals we have active on our shelter, in our shelter. And so the pet, it's called Pet Points, a software that we use, allows us to instantly upload new animals and take down the animals that have been adopted. Right. So that's usually pretty current on our website.
Yeah, interesting. I saw pecan pie in there too. So you had a pecan pie and you got a peach cobbler, which is very interesting.
Our names get funny during holidays.
Your numbers, though. Last time you were here, you talked about the numbers, and I went home and told my wife, I was like, you know how many animals have coming through there? So fill me in a little bit about the numbers.
Most people do not realize this. They think a few animals that come through our parish animal shelter. Yearly, that's about 5,500. So 5,500 animals annually. That's every year. That's not one, right. year in particular. That's every year. And that's down from when I first started 21 years ago. Right. And that was close to almost 8,000. So we've done a lot of great programs that help reduce our intake now. We've talked tons, about all of those programs before, but 5,500 animals come through our doors and that we're constantly trying to find placement for.
Right. That's an unbelievable number, and that's when you point that down, like how many a day, and it's quite a bit.
They're busy.
So we're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to talk more about the foster program, and fostering for the holidays. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. More Bayou time after this.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bayou Time. We're talking about the Terrebonne Parish Animal Shelter and talk about being a hero. We talked to Stephen Rhodes earlier this week when we were talking about he received his big honor from the Carnegie Hero Commission Fund. You also can be a hero as you can take in one of these animals. It's life-saving for them, life-changing for you. So let's talk with Valerie Robinson more about the Terrebonne Parish Animal Shelter. We were just talking, we have a little flyer to talk about that, but this is a good time to help out with animals, right?
It is. And Peach Cobbler here, my friend, she is a prime example of when I come and I talk about foster homes, she is currently in a foster home. She's with me today, but she's in a foster home because she needs cage rest for her broken pelvis. And she's actually being fostered by one of our veterinarians. We lucked out with that, but that doesn't have to be. You don't have to be a vet to help an animal that has some medical needs. You can simply, be a person that loves animals, has animals, or doesn't have animals. So fostering does save lives because without fosters in our shelter environment, our staff can only do so much. So when you have kittens that need to be bottle fed, round the clock, that's not something that we can, sustain. That's not a resource that we have. So when people show up to bottle feed babies and people show up to foster medical cases like Miss Peach Cobbler here, those are life-saving because without them, we would not be able to help them. We would not be able to sustain that. So our community really does stand up constantly for us. We constantly are asking for their help. As you know, we talked about having 5,500 animals come through our building. So if we can't do that, like my staff of, 6 people are taking care of all of these, 5,500 animals every year. impossible for them to do it by themselves. So we always are, checking in with our community to help us. And without them fostering, we would not be able to help the animals that we help. So, back, like I've told you before, we, weren't able to help near as many. We have a new building, as of 2016, and we have great programs that are life-saving programs. We're implementing more every single year. One of those programs, like we're talking about, is the foster program. And today, because of programs like the foster program, adoption program, things like that, we're able to save about 90 or better percent of the animals walking through the building, which is hard work, but it is so incredibly rewarding to know that the hard work pays off. So again,
and that percentage was what when you started 21 years ago?
It was, it was low. So 10, 11% or so of the animals. It reversed it essentially. Yeah. So we're saving somewhere around 90% now. And that really is doable if our community is behind us.
So let's talk about the person who might be a foster. And just in my little orbit, I know my daughter and she's 30 and they have friends. And it works for them because they're still traveling wherever they want to go and they work wherever. But they can foster an animal without saying, without committing all the time.
Right.
But it's a good way to give back. Do you find that? I don't think it's gender specific. It is in my case. It was all girls that did this. I don't know if it is, if that's more of a feminine trait or not. But
we have all walks of life.
But tell me about the person that might want to be a foster.
Yeah. So
what kind of person?
Most people listening in would go, oh, I just can't do that. Or I already have so many. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. We already have 3 dogs. We can't possibly foster. So for the most part, a foster animal, especially for somebody who has pets already, really just kind of integrates into that pattern as well. So if you're letting out 3 dogs to potty, a 4th is not too bad. Right. If it's short term, right? Most of us can do short term stuff. We don't want to take on a 4th dog for every day, all day, but we, for 2 weeks, it might not be a bad deal. Right. So for that person who thinks like, oh, I can't do it. I love animals. I want to help. I can probably take them on, for short term. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for, long term. We're looking for short term. So what we're doing right now is a really big push for the next 2 weeks. We're looking for fosters to give us 2 weeks of their time to get dogs out of the shelter. And then we'll bring them back in the shelter if they can't keep them, after that, or during their foster stay, they might get adopted. So it might be 3 days and somebody finds the dog on the Facebook and they're like, okay, I'll take that dog, and it gets adopted. Getting them out of the shelter is the biggest push. Dogs and cats do much better out of the shelter environment. My staff are amazing humans. They work nonstop to love and care for them. But when you have 250 animals to take care of, and there's 6 people doing that, you can't give them the attention. Our fosters are fabulous about telling us about the animals too. So when they spend the time with them, like the dog day out program and the pajama party program that we talked about, they give us information to say about those animals that help us place them in homes. Like he sits now, he shakes now, he's doing all of these things and it helps us out. It's impossible, like I said, for my staff to do that one-on-one time with that animal, but most people can take in something short-term. Most people are not interested in long-term foster, but short-term is all we're asking for. And that really, we give the supplies, and the medical treatment is free, so they don't have to pay anything. This is free. So we talked about free earlier.
Right. Free, it's me.
Yeah.
No, that's a great way. What kind of community do you have? Is there a working community that you have 50 people to do this, or? We
have a foster base currently that fluctuates depending on people's needs, or something might change. We always are asking for more, just because we have more animals that constantly come in. So once we saturate those homes and animals are in those homes, if something new comes in, we need a new foster. So we do have, a good base of, fosters currently, but that's constantly changing where somebody can't foster anymore. And if somebody takes one
permanently, then they're off that list.
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking for short term. We're not looking for long-term commitment.
2 weeks.
It's free to you. Like you're not going to have to pay. We give, food, the medical treatment, all that stuff. The shelter still provides all of that. It's just the TLC at home, that you're giving that animal the time and attention at home.
It's a great time of year to do that.
It is.
One more time, how do people get involved?
So contact us either via our Facebook page or email as animalshelter@tpcg.org, or our website. And honestly, if you just Google us, Terrebonne Parish Animal Shelter, it'll all pop up and you can find us any one of those ways, or stop in at the shelter in Gray. It's 100 Government Street in Gray.
All right. Well, Valerie Robinson, thanks so much. Appreciate
it.
All right. We'll be right back with more Bayou Time after this.